Hey everybody, my name is Daniel Thomas Carter, and I will be going over exactly how I got that name and the history of my name today. First, I would like to say that at the age of 14, my parents actually told me the world was going to end, and that will play a key part in my presentation, and I will touch on that later. Um, First, my name carries on the lineage of my family. It expresses what my family stood for, what my parents stood for, and of course, it shows the origins of my ancestors. It was very important to keep family names going on in my family towards for my parents. Daniel was actually both my grandparents' middle names, and my middle name Thomas was my dad's uncle's name. So I got Daniel from both my grandparents and Thomas from my dad's uncle. It was also a biblical name. My parents are very religious, and this is will bring in when they told me the world was going to end when I was 14. But many of you, I'm sure, have heard Daniel and the Den of the Lions, the story. It was important for them to include biblical names, including with my brothers. Both my brothers' names are from the Bible. The origins of my name, it goes back to English, Scottish, and Irish roots. A carter normally was somebody who would cart around goods. They would trade goods. They would sell it. Obviously, carter, you just add on the er to cart. It's also possible that I read there's actually some Celtic roots with that, and it was a form of Mick Carter, and then that got changed to Carter as the years went on. So my name, it carries on the legacy of my ancestors, my family. It stands for who my parents are, and what they stood for, and it describes where my origins were, where I came from, what my family came from. But the most important part is that my name does not define me. Daniel Thomas Carter does not tell people who I am necessarily. It tells people about my parents and what they stood for. They told me the world was going to end when I was 14. They thought Jesus was going to come back. They were 100% sure about that. Very religious, and not to knock anything away from my parents. But I don't believe that, and obviously it didn't happen. That was years ago. But my name doesn't define me. Who my actions are and who I want to be define me, and that goes the same for you. So one message that I would like to get across is that as we go through all the history and the origin of our names, it does not define you. You and what you do define you. Thank you. That's all I have to say.